Congratulations, graduates! I am thrilled to invite Timothy J. Burns, this year's Wayland medalist, to address the class of 2011. Mr. Burns.
Good afternoon, Father Lane, deans, administration, faculty, staff, friends, family, distinguished guests, and of course, fellow members of the class of 2011. It was my understanding from a flyer I received from a guy at the train station that the world was supposed to end today. So I was tempted to not even bother writing my speech. Thankfully, I did. Today is truly a day to celebrate. And as such, I know that everyone would love to hear a detailed account of how great the past 4 years have been. However, I also know that we will be charged about $100 for every hour that we're on campus past 8 o'clock. So I figured that gives me about 5 minutes to speak. About a month ago, I was in my room studying and heard a faint ringing in the background. My roommate Sean popped his head in my room and said, "Tim, Father Lenane's on the phone for you." Now, two things about that surprised me. Number one, I had no idea we had a phone in our apartment. And number two, why on earth would the president of the school be calling me? Well, believe it or not, he asked me if I'd be willing to speak at graduation. I was immediately filled with both nerves and excitement, and all I could get out was, maybe, I think so. Fortunately, that was convincing enough for him, and I graciously accepted the honor. So, with exams on the horizon, there I was, pinned down with yet another assignment, wondering what I could possibly talk about. I began to center my thoughts, and I realized that I wouldn't be able to come up with some wild, glamorized account of what molded my college experience. Although I thoroughly considered giving it a try, until I found out that my speech had to be approved by the administration first. So, I decided I should just tell the truth. And the truth is that second semester freshman year, I made a decision. A decision that, as unglamorous as it may seem, helped shape my Loyola experience. I decided to join the jazz ensemble. Now, why on earth was that so important? Well, the answer is simple. After playing in the jazz band in high school for 4 years, I swore I wouldn't do it in college. Not because band isn't cool, because it is, but because I already had classes and cross-country to deal with. That seemed like more than enough for me. But there I was, making a decision on my own, with my eyes open, that I was going to do something more. In short, I was going to get involved. As it turned out, I was hooked, not just on jazz, but on everything Loyola had to offer. I began getting even more involved on campus, and I became a tutor, then a Eucharistic minister, a koinonia leader, a leadership coordinator, and more. Juggling multiple positions and obligations became routine for me. I quickly began to figure out how to fit things into my schedule, even when I thought I didn't have time for them. Things I was afraid to do, I learned to do, overcame my fears, and enjoyed. Things I thought I didn't care about became very important to me, and strangers quickly became friends. In other words, getting involved transformed my experience at Loyola, and it transformed me. In the process, I learned more about myself and about others than I ever thought possible. Now I know that as young freshmen and sophomores, we were a bit misguided at times, and all we wanted to do was be like the older upperclassmen. In fact, many of us were even willing to pay a good $120 to get a fake piece of plastic that said we were 21, just like our friends the seniors. But we've grown a lot since then as individuals, and we have developed our own identities. After 4 years at a Jesuit institution, we've undoubtedly learned the importance of the core Jesuit values, such as cura personalis, or care for the whole person, honesty and integrity, diversity, leadership, service, and of course, a constant challenge to improve. By the time I got to this part in writing my speech, I wondered if any of these lessons learned at Loyola would actually carry over into the real world. I also realized that I hadn't even quoted a famous person yet. Unless you count the part about Father Lane, because he's pretty well known. Then I remembered a great quote by 18th century Irish statesman Edmund Burke, who said, "All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." In that quote, I found the answer to my concerns. It is the individual commitment of each and every one of us, the commitment to get involved, to care, to be concerned, to serve, and to uphold high standards of honesty that is essential to making our planet a better place. And at Loyola, we care and we show it, not just in words, but in action. I've seen evidence of this commitment my whole time at Loyola, and I've even seen it in the last few months, as my classmates came together and raised more than $53,000, the Loyola record, to start a scholarship fund in memory of our classmates, Stephanie Parente and Evan Girardi. There is no doubt in my mind that we have what it takes to change the world. And so, my fellow graduates, when you leave this arena today, be sure to take with you the lifelong friendships and values you've gained at Loyola, and always remember to get involved. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Because the achievements and aspirations of our graduates are many and great, we salute each of you for your diligence and your attainments. Each of us knows, however, that few accomplishments in life are gained through individual effort alone. Almost always, the support, guidance, and examples of others play a key role. Today, let us acknowledge the role that parents, spouses, children, family, friends, and faculty have all played in making this day and this moment possible. And we should applaud not just our faculty, but also the staff, RAs, counselors, ministers, and administrators who've led, guided, and nurtured your learning and your abilities to discern that you will carry with you throughout your journey. I am privileged to introduce, you may be seated. I am privileged to introduce the Reverend Brian F. Lene.